What if we told you there's a man who owns over 7,000 supercars, yet the world barely speaks his name? What if the richest monarchs on Earth aren't the ones with the biggest crowns, but the biggest oil fields? And what if one royal, in just 1 year, made more money than Elon Musk without selling a single product? These aren't fairy tales. This is real, staggering, generational wealth, guarded behind walls of tradition, power, and secrets. Let's count down the top 10 richest royals in the world 2025. And trust us, you won't believe who's number 1. Coming in at number 10, King Charles III of the United Kingdom proves that patience truly pays, especially when you've waited 7 decades for a crown. In 2022, his personal fortune was estimated at just $40 million. But by the time of his coronation in 2023, that figure had skyrocketed to roughly $800 million. That's not just an inheritance, it's a royal jackpot. The secret lies in 3 words: the Duchy of Lancaster. Spanning over 45,000 acres across England and Wales, this centuries-old estate includes castles, farmland, commercial properties, and a sprawling investment portfolio. It quietly generates tens of millions in annual profit, all of which now flows directly into the king's private income, entirely tax-free, thanks to the monarchy's unique financial exemptions. Yet behind the gilded palaces and royal jets is a man who still starts his mornings with boiled eggs, toast, and tea. A nod to his decades of modest living before the crown. So while some say old money moves slow, King Charles reminds the world that when it finally does move, it moves like a royal fortune reborn. At number 9, Prince Albert II of Monaco isn't just a royal, he's the landlord of luxury itself. With an estimated fortune of $1 billion, Albert reigns over one of the wealthiest postage stamps on Earth. And while that sum might outshine the GDP of entire island nations, his empire wasn't built on oil or tech stocks. This is generational wealth, polished, modernized, and rooted in the glittering soil of Europe's most exclusive enclave. Albert personally owns nearly 1/4 of Monaco, from oceanfront hotels and sky-high residential towers to the world-famous Monte Carlo casino. Imagine owning the equivalent of Times Square, but where the rent never comes due. Here, every square foot of land can fetch as much as $5,000, making real estate not just valuable, but almost mythic. Yet behind all that extravagance stands a ruler with a conscience. Nicknamed the Green Prince, Albert is known for cycling to work and championing environmental causes worldwide. In a kingdom built on fortune and glamour, he's proving that even the man who owns the casino knows when to bet on the planet. 8th place, we meet King Mohammed VI of Morocco, a monarch who rules not just by tradition, but by portfolio. With an estimated net worth of $2.1 billion, Mohammed VI didn't inherit his fortune from oil or gold. He built it the capitalist way. Think of him as the Berkshire Hathaway of the Arab world, only his office happens to be a palace. Through his royal holding groups, Siger and SNYY, the king commands vast stakes across Morocco's financial landscape. From the nation's largest banks and telecom giants to insurance empires and phosphate mining operations that power industries around the globe. And if that weren't enough, he personally owns Africa's largest private agricultural empire, a sprawling network of olive fields and fertile lands that turn royal ambition into billion-dollar yield. Yet for all his influence, Mohammed VI remains a man of mystery. He's more often seen wandering Parisian art galleries than giving political speeches, quietly collecting Picassos instead of public praise. Behind the palace walls stands a ruler who's proven that in the modern era, power doesn't just sit on a throne, it signs the checks. At number 7, we step into the world of Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, better known as MBZ, the man who doesn't just play the game of wealth and power, he writes the rules. As president of the United Arab Emirates and ruler of Abu Dhabi, MBZ commands fortunes so vast that even Forbes can't put a number on them. His personal net worth sits in the multi-billion range, but his family's collective empire? An estimated $323 billion, a number that dwarfs the GDP of many countries. That kind of wealth doesn't come from a business empire. It is the business empire. Fueled by some of the world's largest oil reserves, MBZ's influence extends through sovereign wealth funds, real estate giants, and global strategic investments that shape the modern Middle East. He doesn't answer to shareholders or investors, just to his own vision of power. This isn't just riches, it's the architecture of dominance. And what truly sets him apart? Discipline. Before becoming one of the world's most influential leaders, MBZ trained with Britain's elite SAS commandos. While others collect yachts and art, he built armies and alliances. His palace may gleam with gold, but his legacy is forged in strategy, not luxury. Taking the 6th spot on our list, the Al Thani royal family of Qatar represents wealth on an almost unimaginable scale. Their collective fortune, estimated at more than $335 billion, places them among the most powerful families on Earth, commanding influence that stretches far beyond the Arabian Peninsula. This isn't just royal inheritance, it's strategic empire building. Through the Qatar Investment Authority, their sovereign wealth fund, the Al Thanis have transformed oil riches into a global investment network, owning major stakes in Volkswagen, Barclays, and Canary Wharf, as well as outright ownership of Harrods, the Shard, and even New York's Empire State Building. And while their portfolio speaks volumes, their lifestyle is no less legendary. A $1 billion palace, a $400 million mega yacht called Qatara, and a private fleet of 14 luxury jets. Yet despite all this, the Al Thanis remain quietly elusive, operating from behind the curtain of global finance, proving that the most powerful royals don't need to rule loudly to own the world. Holding the 5th position is Grand Duke Henri of Luxembourg, the man who proves that true wealth doesn't need a spotlight. With an estimated net worth of $4 billion, Henri quietly stands as Europe's richest low-profile monarch. And yes, that's more than double King Charles's personal fortune. His wealth isn't from flash or fame, but from centuries of carefully preserved royal assets. The Luxembourg dynasty has managed its fortune with Swiss-level precision, built on private real estate, blue-chip investments, and family trusts that stretch back generations. Even his residence, the Grand Ducal Palace, is said to cost more per square meter than Buckingham Palace itself. While the world's tabloids chase louder royals, Henri keeps his empire running in silence, signing deals, not autographs. And perhaps that's what makes him fascinating. Despite his billions, you'll still find him strolling through Luxembourg City on foot, grabbing a croissant like any other local, the quiet billionaire who owns the country he walks through. At number 4, we turn to the oil heart of the Middle East, where King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud reigns over one of the most powerful and wealthiest monarchies in history. With a personal fortune of around $18 billion, he represents just one branch of a royal dynasty whose collective wealth surpasses an astonishing $1 trillion, making the House of Saud a financial superpower unlike any other. King Salman stands at the helm of Saudi Aramco, the most profitable company on earth, whose oil fields have fueled both Saudi Arabia's economy and its global clout for generations. Under his leadership, the kingdom invests billions into projects like NEOM, a futuristic $500 billion mega-city rising from the desert, a symbol of how Saudi wealth is transforming from black gold to innovation. But perhaps the most extraordinary part of this story isn't the oil, the palaces, or the mega-projects. It's the scale of the family itself. With more than 15,000 royals, many of them billionaires in their own right, the Al Saud dynasty doesn't just share bloodlines. They share a financial empire so vast, it could reshape the world economy at will. Taking the third spot is King Maha Vajiralongkorn, also known as Rama X, the monarch who transformed Thailand's royal crown into one of the world's most powerful real estate empires. With a personal fortune estimated at $43 billion, King Vajiralongkorn stands as not only Asia's wealthiest monarch, but one of the richest individuals on the planet. His fortune didn't come from oil fields or global corporations. It came from land. After assuming full control of the Crown Property Bureau in 2018, he became the legal owner of over 17,000 properties in Bangkok alone, including shopping malls, office towers, and entire city blocks in the heart of Thailand's capital. It's not an exaggeration to say he's the landlord of Bangkok itself. Beyond real estate, the king's assets stretch into the skies, with dozens of private jets, rare luxury cars, and palace estates that could rival movie sets. Yet perhaps the most curious twist in his royal story is location. While his empire sits in Thailand, King Vajiralongkorn spends much of his time in Germany, living in a lavish villa near the Alps. The property king of Bangkok, ruling quietly and quite comfortably from Bavaria. Sliding into the number 2 spot is a royal dynasty that lives like a myth brought to life. The House of Bolkiah of Brunei, led by Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah, a man whose definition of luxury borders on the cinematic. With an estimated family fortune of $50 billion, his rule isn't just about power, it's about scale. Everything he touches becomes a symbol of grandeur, crafted in marble, gold, and horsepower. The Sultan's home, Istana Nurul Iman, is more than a palace. It's a city under a single roof, boasting 1,788 rooms, 257 bathrooms, and a banquet hall for 5,000 guests. It stands as the largest royal residence on the planet. Step inside, and it feels less like a home and more like a real-world fantasy, where chandeliers outnumber people and corridors stretch into infinity. And then there are the cars, 7,000 of them to be precise. The Sultan's private collection could double as a museum of automotive history. 600 Rolls-Royces, fleets of Ferraris, and one-off creations like the Ferrari F90, built exclusively for him. Together, his garages alone are worth over $5 billion. Yet beyond the spectacle, what makes Sultan Bolkiah truly fascinating is how effortlessly he embodies excess. From birthday celebrations that rival world festivals to daily life surrounded by unimaginable luxury, he doesn't just live richly. He defines what royal extravagance means in the modern era. Sitting unchallenged at number 1, the House of Nahyan of Abu Dhabi doesn't just represent royal wealth, they embody the very concept of modern power. With an estimated fortune surpassing $325 billion, this dynasty has transcended the boundaries of monarchy to become a global financial superstructure, quietly shaping the world's future, while the rest of us just live in it. Their story began with oil, but it certainly didn't end there. At the center of their empire stands the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, a sovereign wealth fund managing more than $850 billion across the globe. From Manhattan skyscrapers and European infrastructure to Silicon Valley startups and Hollywood studios, they've turned fossil fuel fortunes into economic gravity, pulling industries, governments, and investors into their orbit. Yet what makes the Nahyans extraordinary isn't just their wealth, it's their vision. Under Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed's leadership, Abu Dhabi has evolved from desert sands to a nexus of technology, diplomacy, and innovation. While billionaires like Musk and Zuckerberg duel for headlines, the Nahyans are quietly buying the stage they're fighting on. Because in their world, money isn't power, it's the infrastructure of power. And when you command that kind of empire, you don't need to chase the future. You simply finance it. These kings and princes don't just wear crowns, they hold keys to power, policy, and capital that shape the modern world. Unlike tech CEOs or Wall Street moguls, their wealth wasn't earned overnight. It was forged over centuries, protected by bloodlines, and multiplied by empires. And while most billionaires eventually fade from the Forbes list, royalty doesn't get fired. It endures. So the next time you hear about the richest people on Earth, ask yourself, are you looking at their bank accounts or just the surface of an empire? If you enjoy uncovering the hidden power behind royal fortunes, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell. Because the next story takes you deeper into the world where crowns and billions collide.